Today's news is about success stories. Ever since we introduced Today's news is about success stories. Ever since we introduced Abinel Solicitors to you, there have been countless impactful stories from our clients. So if you are yet to experience the most promising law firm in London, welcome to the world of Abinel Solicitors, where there's always timely intervention for excellent results. Abinel Solicitors, we specialize in immigration and family law. So for immigration, come to us for nationality law,
EEA law, leave to remain, point-based system applications,
entry clearance applications, student visas, visitors visas, and all appeals and judicial reviews. And for family law,
come to us for divorce, separation, consent orders, child arrangement orders, financial orders, and mediation.
Come, let's do business. Our address is
14 Claypole Road, Stratford, London, E15 2RJ.
Please call 0203 759 3309 or 078 2470 5353 or 077 8732 7985. Our 24-hour emergency contact line is
079 4323 5364. Email info@abinelsolicitors.co.uk.
Abinel Solicitors. Timely intervention, excellent result.
To where you are always welcome home, welcome.
Today's news is about success stories. Ever since we introduced Abinel Solicitors to you, there have been countless impactful stories from our clients. So if you are yet to experience the most promising law firm in London, welcome to the world of Abinel Solicitors, where there's always timely intervention for excellent results. Abinel Solicitors, we specialize in immigration and family law. So for immigration, come to us for nationality law,
EEA law, leave to remain, point-based system applications,
entry clearance applications, student visas, visitors visas, and all appeals and judicial reviews. And for family law,
come to us for divorce, separation, consent orders, child arrangement orders, financial orders, and mediation.
Come, let's do business. Our address is
14 Claypole Road, Stratford, London, E15 2RJ.
Please call 0203 759 3309 or 078 2470 5353 or 077 8732 7985. Our 24-hour emergency contact line is
079 4323 5364. Email info@abinelsolicitors.co.uk.
Hello, good evening, wonderful people. Once again, it's time with Abinel Solicitors Legal Hour. And if you've not yet invited a friend, I do want you to invite a friend, help a friend, because Abinel Solicitors is there to help each and everyone. Timely intervention, excellent results. My name is MDA, Mamedan Kwasante, and I'm going to be with a beautiful, talented, awesome lawyer, Shawa. She is the one I'm going to interview today. Shawa, can you say hello to your friends and family? And then we can start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us yet again for another session. It should be very insightful. We appreciate all of you for joining today. So like MDA said, please share, get all your friends, family to join now, because there's so many things that they will learn from this session.
Thank you, Shawa. Shawa, before I start asking you questions that people have brought to me, if someone is watching us now and they don't know about Abinel Solicitors, what would you say to them? People watching you now, what would you say? Say something about Abinel Solicitors, who they are, what they can do, something later about them.
Okay, so Abinel Solicitors is founded by the amazing Amy Nelson, a solicitor. We are based in Stratford, East London. We mainly deal with immigration and family law cases, but we have amazing caseworkers here, and we all love to give our best in everything that we do. We like to give excellent results. That means no matter what your case is, we'll go above and beyond to find a solution, whether it's immigration or family law cases, anything that you have concerns with in that area. We really go above and beyond. We have amazing workers here that have loads of skills and experience. We like to cater for our clients on an individual basis. So that means we have a one-to-one session with you, really get to understand what the issue is, and we provide solutions. We're very good here at providing solutions. Loads of our clients have received amazing results. So if you're looking for a solicitor that you can trust, that will give you excellent work, good quality work that's reliable, then Abigail Solicitors is the place to go.
Thank you, Shawa. And indeed, she's saying the truth, because we've got so many positive results. They are the best. They will help you, whether you can read or write, whatever you need help with. Please, they are there to support you. Just call them. They are friendly. Interact with them, and they will support and help you. And guess what? The results is the most important thing. Positive results. Abigail Solicitors. Timely intervention, excellent results. Okay, Shawa, we are going to talk about refusal today, and I'll put a bit of other questions. So I'll be asking you, but now we are talking about refusal, and then we'll add a bit more. Thank you. My mother arrived in the UK a year ago on a 6-month visa from Uganda. However, since arriving, she has not been herself. She's no longer able to work without assistance, and she can barely take care of herself anymore. We decided to get her some medical help and found out that she was suffering with depression and other health issues. We made an application for her to stay in the UK with us 3 months after she arrived, and we recently received a refusal decision. What can we do? We really do not want her to return to Uganda in this kind of state, in this state. She's struggling. We don't want her to go.
Yes.
What can you say about this?
Wow, there's a lot that's been said here.
Yeah.
First of all, sorry to hear about your mother and her, condition. But there is hope. There's things that you can do in regards to this. So there's a few things that they did right with this. So first of all, she's on a visitor's visa. So she has 3 months left in this country because they made an application 3 months before, which is good. So that means it gave them enough time to get the decision.
Yeah.
So based on this refusal decision, she can actually go for an appeal.
Okay.
Because the application was for her mum to remain in the UK. Yeah. So what we'd advise is for them to appeal this decision because it has been refused. So what that simply means is you're going to go to the court and say, okay, I received this decision. However, I want to make an appeal based on certain grounds.
Okay.
So in this case, we would advise to appeal based on Article 8, which is human rights.
Human rights.
What that says is that she has a right to private life and family life here in the UK.
Okay.
And then once you make those grounds of appeal, you submit your appeal form and the refusal decision.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they will call you for a hearing. When they call you for a hearing, this is the time for you to really plead your case. You're really going to explain to the Home Office why you believe you should be here in the UK based on the grounds that you've mentioned. Yeah. So there are a few things that we like to do in this stage. We have to gather a lot of documents and witness statements. So witness statement is essentially you writing out and detailing the story about your mother. So let's say we get witness statement from the mother herself, explain how she arrived in the UK. She will explain her condition, how things have begun to gradually getting worse. She's no longer able to take care of herself. She will probably explain how she doesn't have anyone back home in Uganda to look after her. So she will be lonely. Her illness could get worse. So they will really go into detail about that in the witness statement. Then the gathering of documents. You want to gather documents. Like they mentioned, they've gone to the doctors to get her a condition, to figure out what her condition was. And I think it said she was suffering from depression which is a mental illness. And other health. So she's actually suffering from a mental illness. So they would get a document, maybe it's from a psychiatrist, who can explain her condition and even detail out that if she doesn't get the necessary assistance, she doesn't get support from family and friends, being an elderly aged woman, that condition could get worse and worse and worse. So these are the things that you want to gather up in support of your mother's case, that the Home Office will see that, okay, we have an elderly woman who's suffering from a mental illness. She has received reports from, a medical expert. So we call this an expert witness. That means someone that is qualified to give, that right judgment to say that indeed she has depression, and even if they can get some documents to say that if she's getting drugs at the moment, so she's being prescribed drugs, that will also show that, okay, she's being prescribed drugs, these are the things that she needs, and she has an illness. So when they're looking at the private life and family life, what that means is, as an elderly woman, her dependence on her family is crucial. It's not like any other adult, because she also has an illness. So there's now a high threshold for her in regards to the private life route, private life and family life, for her to stay in the UK with her family, because she's really dependent on them. You would have to explain that as her daughter, you have to be there all the time to care for her, to ensure she's able to eat, even if that means you're washing her, because it says she can barely do anything for herself. So to return someone that is so vulnerable and fragile back to their home country, where majority of their family is here in the UK, it wouldn't be something that would be advised. So you really want to build up your case to show that, first of all, she's an elderly woman. She has family here who are able to take care of her. Back in Uganda, she doesn't have any family or friends who can give her the necessary care that she needs. She has an illness which has been shown by the medical reports.
That she's got depression.
Exactly, that she has depression. All of this is building up her case. So in the hearing, they'll call up the witnesses who have drafted up their statements. So that could be the daughter that's just asked the question. That could be the mother. They'll ask you more questions about the case. They'll refer to all the documents that you've put in place. If you have children, the woman that sent this message about her mother, or the man, if you have children.
Her children.
Yes, if you have children, so that means your mother has grandchildren and they're British. That also helps, because it can show that they have close ties with their grandmother. And if they were to be separated from their grandmother, it could affect their development. So all these things, you're really building up your case to show that your mother deserves to be in the UK as under the private life, family life, under Article 8. That's a human right. She has that right to stay here, especially because of her illness. She needs her family. She needs that care and support, because she would really rely on them during these times, especially in regards to her illness. And her illness could get worse if she returns back to Uganda. So those are the things that you build up in this appeal. And we have dealt with different cases like this, so we can definitely help.
So there's hope for them,
Yes.
As long as they've got all the documentations, like medical reports, she's on medication, and all of that sort. Abinel Solicitors is there to support them. So all hope is not lost. If you're watching us and you, the lady going through this issue, Abinel Solicitors is always there to support you. Shawa, one thing that I always say to people who are watching us, or to friends and family, is that when you are doing an appeal or when you are doing an application, don't think you can do it by yourself, because there are certain times and certain things that we might not understand them. So that is why Abinel Solicitors is there to support you. So if you are going for an appeal, please call Abinel Solicitors. The number is right on the screen. Call them, and please, they will support you 24/7. And I tell you, excellent, superb. They are good. You get excellent results. Okay, let's go to the second one. My son lives in Ghana with my mother. Oh, sorry, someone is asking, what about if the person has not been to the hospital and it's not depression? Maybe we have seen that our mother is not too good. She's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. without the hospital results, can we use the medication that she is on previously before she came to this country? I don't understand what she means. What she's trying to say is, what about if she doesn't have a report? Does she have a say? Is there anything that can be done for her? She's not been to the hospital.
She's not been to the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. If she has previous medication that she's on, and if that was back home in Ghana or Nigeria, if you have those documents that can also support her condition, I would still have to been to any kind of medical help, even if they don't have a GP here in the UK. Because if the illness is really getting that bad, she should have seen someone by now. Okay. So they don't have to have a lot of documentation, but we can also help. So if you bring your case to us, we can also help and see how we can get a medical report on her behalf as well.
Thank you. You know, sometimes when you're booking an appointment, they do tell you, oh, we can give you next week, we can give you the following week. So you've not got all the reports that you need. But that is what Abinel Solicitors is saying, that no matter what you are going through, just call Abinel Solicitors and they will support you. My son lives in Ghana with my mother. I came to the UK to join my spouse in 2012. I was unable to bring my son with me. I have recently obtained my indefinite leave to remain, and I applied for my son, who is 13 years, to join me in the UK. However, the decision was refused because they were not convinced that I have sole parental responsibility for my son. They only stated that there is no evidence to demonstrate that his current living arrangement can no longer continue. My mother is elderly and was only meant to look after him on a temporary basis. What options are available for my son and me? This is
it's a very interesting one as well. There are two ways you can go about this. So she can make a fresh application.
Okay.
If she was to bring that fresh application to us, for example, we can advise on the right documentation to use when you make this application. So she's probably not provided maybe enough documents to show that she indeed is the only person who's caring for her son. So when they say sole parental responsibility, it just means that anything regarding your child, you are the main carer. So that means you support them with school, with medical issues. So that means you're the one that makes the most important decisions in their life. Without you, there's nothing that can be done when it comes to that child. So that's what it means when they're saying sole parental responsibility. The other option would be to appeal this decision. And we think, based on what she's saying, if she could provide the right documents, she could have a very good case. So when it comes to proving sole parental responsibility, I've mentioned some things already, academics. So you could get a letter from school that will show that this child is registered and you are registered as their mother in that school, that you normally get their reports, you pay for their travel expenses, even if it's buying paper, pen, equipment, whatever it is they need for school. They will be able to say that we know that Mrs. So-and-so is the person who provides all the support for this child in this school. Another thing would also be when it comes to medical issues now. If they have a hospital that they've been to, we registered as a mother in that hospital or father in that hospital. You'd be able to also get a letter from them to explain that you are the main carer for this child. Those are things that show sole parental responsibility. Another thing would be also showing if there's extracurricular activities. Maybe they go to church every Sunday. They're part of the choir. You can get the church to write a letter to say, we are aware that his mother is, in the UK, but she always checks in on her son's spiritual progression, and she maybe supports, sends money to the church. So they know that you're an active person in this child's life. That's the main thing they wanted to see. They wanted to see that you are the person who is really taking care of this child. Even if you're not in the same country as your child, you're still the main person responsible for them. And then when it comes to, I think they mentioned the grandmother that your son is staying with. when it comes to that, she mentioned it's a temporary thing. It wasn't meant to be for the son to stay there forever. It was just for her to settle in the UK. See, what you also need to show is that your mother is elderly. She can't look after this child without your support. And it was only meant to be for a temporary basis. So you could also get your mother, to grandma, to write a statement as well, supporting your case, to say that she just supported her daughter because daughter was relocating and she couldn't afford to bring her son with her. Now that she's settled, she also gives permission for the son to join his mom in the UK. And she's elderly. She maybe not has the finances to look after this child on her own. She was just supporting her daughter. So things like that really show that, okay, you are his mom. You're the sole parent. There's nobody else that's been supporting you with this child. And we've had successful cases. We've had people that have had the same situation. And by us proving that they are the only person responsible for this child and they should not be separated, there's no other reason for them to be separated. They were able to have a successful appeal. So there's hope in this situation.
I think we should advise all parents that if you are not part of it, whatever your child is doing, you don't know when you might need all these things. So if your child is going to school and you know nothing about what your child is doing at school, and this is the time you need the letter from the school, they are going to say no because we don't know you. If your child is going to the hospital and you are not interested in whatever is happening in your child's life, so please, let's be part of our children because you don't know when you might need all this documentation. Thank you, Shawa. I am an EU national and I obtained my settled status in 2020. My husband has his pre-settled status and we made an application for my stepson, who is 17 years old, to join us in the UK based on our family relationship. However, his application was refused on the basis that his birth certificate was produced 10 years after he was born. They stated that the birth certificate is not valid and they cannot prove his father's parentage. I am not sure what to do. Please advise us.
I see. When you get a decision like that, it seems very difficult. Seems like there's no hope because there's a lot of things that they mention here. And the Home Office, they're very interesting people that look at people's cases. So the thing that they mention here is they want to know, when they say the parentage, they want to know, are you the biological father of this child? So even though the application that they made is based on his stepmother, because she's the one that's the EU national, she's the one that has received her status here in the UK. So they're able to make that application because his father is married to an EU national. So that application is a valid application. People have come into the UK based on that relationship. The issue here is proving whether or not the father is the stepson's dad. That's the issue now. So the main thing that you want to show in this is also something that you can appeal. You can also appeal this decision, or you can make a fresh application based on what I'm going to say now. You need to show that this child is the biological child of the father. It's one way you can do this, through a DNA test. So you take a DNA paternity test. That will just rule out everything that they can question about the parentage. If you do the DNA test and it shows that 99% is the biological father of this child, then that rules out the whole issue about the parentage, because it shows that this is the son. However, you don't always have to do a DNA test. It's not actually mandatory. The Home Office will never make you do a DNA test because there's a guidance that's been put out. They can't force anyone to do a DNA test. Another thing that you could use would be the birth certificate, which is the issue now that they're addressing. So they're saying that the birth certificate was produced 10 years after the child was born. So we've had a lot of these issues actually. You think it's a very common issue because you have, in our society, might be Ghanaian, Nigerian, wherever it is, where people, when they're born, they don't go and register
No.
the birth of their child.
No,
It's
no.
a very common thing. Some people can't afford it. They might have been born in a very small town where most people might not know it's even an option to register the birth of their child. So they might give them maybe a weighing card
Okay.
or a document that they will have when the child is born that they just need to fill in. Maybe it's a form you had to fill in. If you have a form like that, or of the weighing card, a document that has the child's name, the day they were born, and the parents, that is also a very good document you can add
Okay.
with your application, or if you do an appeal,
Yeah.
because that will show that at the time the child was born, that you were present, your name is there on the document as the father of the child. So that will also show the parental link between you and the child. So when you're doing an appeal, these are the documents you want to gather up to use in support of the application. And then we'll also address just the cultural differences in regards to the UK and in maybe African countries or other societies where it's not mandatory to actually register the birth of your child. Like here in the UK, once you have a child, most likely they'll be registered, but that's not a common thing that people do. So we'll also explain that to the Home Office so they understand why. I think the main issue is they want to know why is it that this child was not registered at birth.
But
For them, it's very foreign. It's like they can't understand.
it's common.
Yes, exactly. So we just have to explain that to them, prove that indeed that is the parent, because if the father is on the birth certificate, that gives them parental responsibility. So we just need to prove that that birth certificate is valid.
Okay.
It was just that it was produced at a later time due to different reasons. If they couldn't afford to even register their child, maybe they were unaware, but they have documents closer to their date of birth that will show that indeed that they are the father. Maybe you went to church and your child got baptized and they have maybe a baptismal certificate, something like that. You can also add those with the documents to show, and it has your name on it. So that will be a good form of evidence.
Someone is asking, Andy, please can you ask Lawyer Sharon for me if they work only in the UK or all over Europe?
Okay, so that means we taking clients from all over. Yes, we do take in clients all over. However, I have to let you know we are based in the UK, so our expertise will be mainly on British law. So those are mainly where our expertise is. So if you're trying to come into the UK or have any issues in regards to the UK law, we can advise you on that. But we do take clients from all over.
Okay. Thank you. So if you are watching us, this is legal or with Abinel Solicitors, please contact Abinel Solicitors. We've got all the details on the screen. You can have the number from there 24/7. You can call them. Whatever issue that you are going through, have you been refused? Do you need to do an appeal? Whatever the issue is concerning immigration and family issues, Abinel Solicitors are always there to support you. Thank you, our beautiful solicitor Shower. I had a customary marriage in Ghana last year, which was registered at a registry in Accra. I made an application to join my husband in the UK a few months after, but my application was refused because they stated that our marriage certificate was not valid in the UK, and we had to prove we have lived together for 2 years. I am not sure why they did not accept our marriage certificate. Can you please help us out with this?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the Home Office can make mistakes sometimes, if we're being honest. They can make mistakes, they can have errors as well. Because in the UK, if you have gotten married in your home country, you've had a customary marriage. So for those of you that are not aware of what customary marriage is, it's like traditional marriage. Two families have come together to say that this so-and-so is going to marry so-and-so. So in Nigeria, for example, you bring maybe different gifts to present to the family, and they have to pay a certain amount of money. Those kind of things. That's what customary marriage is. And it will be in the presence of family and friends. So that kind of marriage is actually valid in the UK. As long as it's a valid form of marriage in your country.
Mm-hmm.
So in most African countries that I know of, a customary marriage is actually valid under their laws.
Yeah.
There was a very interesting case, NVD,
Mm-hmm.
was a marriage that took place in Nigeria. So it was a customary marriage, and they were just disputing whether or not that marriage was valid in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided based on the experts, and there was an expert Nigerian lawyer who gave his own advice in the case. And he said that, yes, if the marriage is valid in Nigeria, for example, that marriage is also valid in the UK. So what most people tend to do when they have a customary marriage, they also get it registered.
Yeah.
So they go to the registry to register their marriage. That would be the document I'm guessing that they provided in this case.
Okay.
That document is as valid as a UK marriage certificate in this country. So that should not sway them from continuing with their application. They should actually do an appeal because there's an error from the Home Office side. It's actually an error because that is a very valid document. As long as there's no errors in that marriage certificate, so the right date of birth, the right names, you know, the right status. Let's say you were divorced before.
Yes.
They need to make sure all that information is correct. As long as that's correct, your signatures are there, then it's a valid form of document, and we can definitely help you with that if that's an appeal that you want to go ahead with.
Okay, so what you're trying to tell us now that is the Home Office also do make mistakes sometimes. They do make mistakes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. And so when you come to Abinel Solicitors, they'll help you with all these issues for you to get excellent results. Thank you very much. In case someone wants to call you nighttime, I've been refused. I got the letter around 6 o'clock when I go home. I cannot sleep. I'm frustrated. And maybe your office hours, you are finished around 6. So let's say by 9 o'clock, I can't sleep. I really want to speak to Abinel Solicitors. I really want to talk to them. Can they call you? Do you have a 24/7 number that they can call on and speak to you? Is that possible?
Yes, so we have a 24-hour line where it's always ready for you to come and call us with any issues.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the number. It's 079 432 35364. So no matter what the query is, no matter the time of day, call that number and we'll be ready to answer your query.
I believe they are not going to disturb you and your husband whilst you are sleeping. Then someone will just call in. Please, I've been refused. Abinel Solicitors will support you. Don't worry. Okay, thank you. I have 2 children in Nigeria, and I want them to join me in the UK. I am on their birth certificate as a father. However, I heard that I must take a DNA test to prove that I am their father. I am not comfortable with doing this. Is there any other way I can prove I am their father for this application?
Okay, so we've touched on this a little bit with the DNA. So like I mentioned before, there's actually a guidance that's been released by the Home Office which says that getting a DNA evidence in immigration cases is voluntary. So you do not have to get a DNA test if you're not comfortable with it. If you believe that child is your child, there's no one that can tell you that that child is not your child. Do you understand? So you don't necessarily have to get a DNA test if you're not comfortable with it. But a very good way to show it is the birth certificate. If your name is on the birth certificate, that evidence is good enough to use to show that you're indeed their father. And then other things that we've discussed before when it comes to parental responsibility, having the things that will show that there's actually a relationship between you and this child sees you as their father because you maybe attend their GP appointments with them. You take them to school. The school knows who you are. They know your name. You come for parents' evening. Any issue in relation to your child, the school can call you so they can vouch that you're indeed, the father. Those little things will go a long way in your application. So even if your children in Nigeria, you should still have that relationship with, their school, with their hospital. There should be documents that you can show. If you send them money for everything that they do when it comes to their medical bills, school, even transportation, food, start to collate those documents, because those documents will really help with your application.
Okay. So this is what I said earlier on. It is good for you to get involved in whatever your child is doing, church, religion, hospital, academics, whatever your child is doing, be part of it. Don't say, oh, I don't play football, so I don't have to be there. Oh, this is not me, so I don't have to be there. Because there is a time that you will need all this documentation, as our beautiful solicitor said. Thank you, my lady. I applied for my daughter to join me in the UK from Zimbabwe, and I received a refusal decision 28 days ago. I want to make an appeal. Is it too late to make one? And what is the process like? I've got another question for the same person. So is it too late to make one? To make an appeal?
So she is just on the deadline.
Okay.
As soon as you receive the refusal decision, two things you should check. So there'll be a date where they make the decision.
Yeah.
Let's say you received the decision on the 10th of November. However, the decision was made on the 7th of November. It just means they've sent you that decision 4 days after.
Okay.
So you start your countdown. So it's 28 days to make an appeal.
Yeah.
Your countdown will start when you received
the
decision. So she needs to check the timeline to make sure it's from the date when she received it. It's not when they actually made the decision. So she will count down to make sure she's within the 28 days. So actually it's on her, I guess, 28th day. She will have to make the appeal today. However, if there was reasonable grounds for why she wasn't able to make the appeal on time, maybe, for example, she was ill, she was out of the country, or there was just an issue that she was unable to make that appeal on time, she can still put in a late submission for an appeal, but she would have to really explain why she wasn't able to make that appeal on time. And they could grant it and they could not grant it. So in the case where she doesn't receive the decision for them to go ahead with the appeal, she can make a fresh application.
Have you ever got like a case like this?
Where it's a late submission?
Yeah.
Yes. So we've had cases like this. Maybe they were out of the country, they weren't able to send documents or make the appeal on time. We would just send evidence that they were indeed out of the country. Maybe they had a medical illness and they were bedridden for a few days or a few weeks. We'll try and get a GP letter to support to show that this is the reason why they were unable to. And I think she mentioned what is the process like. So you would make an application. You can do it through your solicitors to launch the appeal for you, and would cover everything that you need to do. There's a cost for you to actually lodge an appeal. It starts from about £80. So you lodge the appeal. You have to attach your refusal decision. That means whatever decision that you receive that says, you can't get your leave to remain, you need to make sure you keep that document. You need to keep that document because you will need that. That is essentially evidence that you've been refused and this is why you want to go ahead with an appeal. So you explain the reasons why, you feel like you should be able to do an appeal. So your grounds for an appeal, which is the reasons why. Like we mentioned previously, I think the first question we said, the grounds would be on human rights, so right to private life and family life. So that can be a ground for an appeal. Then once you put that through, you receive some directions. So what this means is they've acknowledged that you've put your appeal through, and they're looking through to see if you're going to go ahead maybe with a hearing. So during this time, you should start preparing. This is the time you will start gathering all your documents. If it means you lodged the appeal by yourself, but you now want a representative, you want Abinel solicitors to take over for you, this would be a good time. Call in. We can still help you with your appeal, even if you lodged it yourself. We'll start gathering documents. We'll start creating the bundle, which is what all the documents would be gathered together and will be presented to the court and to the Home Office.
Yeah.
So that when you have your hearing, they'll be looking through the documents, your witness statements. You'll get to say your own, get to plead your case, and explain, why you believe that you should be given the right to maybe enter the country or stay in the country. So that's essentially how the process works. If after the hearing, take a few weeks before you get a decision. If your decision is successful, the Home Office can actually still appeal. So if they still believe, that we don't agree with this decision that the court has made, they can still lodge another appeal, and it just means that you have another hearing. And then it's just more time to plead your case further, maybe get more evidence, maybe more documents that you can use in your case. And then if you're successful after that, then the process will start. And you'll be able to either enter the country or stay in the country and receive all your necessary documents.
I can imagine what our lady is going through for you to be refused and then going for another appeal. You cannot sleep. You'll be thinking over and over and over again. And that is why Abinel Solicitors is there, always there to support you. I love what our solicitor said. They can support you throughout. They'll be going to the court with you. They'll be doing everything with you. They are going to be there for you. So please call Abinel Solicitors. Timely intervention, excellent result. And the big question is, what can I do if my appeal is unsuccessful? Oh
Okay.
God. I don't want to hear this.
So if your appeal is not successful, there's one more stage you can go up.
Okay.
So you make an appeal, you make an application to get permission to do an appeal in a higher court, essentially. So they've got the upper tribunal. But most times when you go this further, it's because there's been an issue with an area of law. So it can be a bit complex, which is why you really need the support of a solicitor. So when we say an area of law, it just means maybe the decision that they made, it doesn't align with what the law actually says. So if the law says that you can bring, if you have a British child that's under the age of 18 and you have sole parental responsibility for them, it means that you can stay in the UK with them. And there's been an issue with that area of law, and they've said that, you don't prove that, where you have all your documents, you have everything that shows that indeed you are the only parent and you have sole parental responsibility. We can then make an appeal based on them not getting that area of law right. So this is where you really need a solicitor on your side, because we'll be able to dissect the law. That's what we're trained in. So we'll be able to really go in detail in that area that they've made a mistake in, and that's what the appeal will be based on.
Okay, all right. Before I will ask this question, someone has sent me a question to ask you that he was a student and he's only left with a week for his visa to run out. He's just been told that there's this thing that Abinel Solicitor spoke about, that you can get extra 2 years to stay in this country, and I don't know about that. That is why I'm asking you. So when you finish school, or when you finish the university or your course or your master's or whatever you are doing, and you want to stay here for extra 2 years, you want to renew, is that allowed? Can you do that?
Yes, so it would be the graduate route.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to make an application if you are able to get entry to study. It just means that you're going further you're going to do further education. So maybe it means you're going to do a master's or a higher level in whatever you are studying. You're extending your leave by making an application on the graduate visa route. So that would be a route that they can take. Or if they were able to get employment, so they could go on the skilled worker route.
So he says it's left with a week to run out for the visa
Yes.
to run out. Is that possible? Can he still apply?
He would need to apply as soon as possible. As long as you make the application before it expires, you're still within grounds. So if that person needs to make an application, I would say they should call us as soon as possible for us to help them with that. And
Alright.
within the graduate route as well, they can work as many hours. So it's not limited, it's not constrained. Because when you study, you have a limited amount of hours. I think it's 20 hours you can work.
Okay.
So it would be extended for them.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, my beautiful solicitor. In fact, thank you. You've really answered their questions. If you're watching us both on Facebook and YouTube, please kindly share the program. You might be helping someone. You don't know what someone is going through. Please share the program. And this is Legal Hour with Abinel Solicitors. They are extremely good. If you've got any immigration and family issues, the best place to go to is Abinel Solicitors. Thank you to everyone that is watching us live or everyone that spent time to be with us. We are so grateful. And thanks to our beautiful solicitor. Do you have anything to say before we go, Shawa?
I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us. I really hope that you've taken a lot from this session. What we've shown you today is that there is still hope, no matter how the refusal decision may look. There is still hope, so we can still help you with any issues that you may have, any questions that you may have. We are here and ready to answer and support you with all your applications and queries. So please definitely call in, book an appointment with me, with any of the caseworkers. We'll be here to help you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shawa. Thank you very much. In fact, I love ladies who are beautiful and very, very talented. And that is what Shawa is. Thank you so very much. Have a great evening, a great weekend. And I love you all. Thanks to you all. See you next time, next week, the same time. Thank you. Bye.
You are always welcome home. Welcome.
Today's news is about success stories. Ever since we introduced Abinel Solicitors to you, there have been countless impactful stories from our clients. So if you are yet to experience the most promising law firm in London, welcome to the world of Abinel Solicitors, where there's always timely intervention for excellent results. Abinel Solicitors, we specialize in immigration and family law. So for immigration, come to us for nationality law,
EEA law, leave to remain, point-based system applications,
entry clearance applications, student visas, visitors visas,